Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Leaders of Euphoria kind of came out at the tail end of that social deduction craze that happened quite a few years ago. It seemed like every company had a social deduction game, and people were just clamoring for them. Resistance kind of took the world by storm, or at least the gaming world, and then you saw a bunch of derivatives of it. Good Cop, Bad Cop was one of those derivatives. It brought you something, I guess, a little bit different with some of the expansions, but at its heart, it was a social deduction game. I don't know how this game got designed or how it happened, but they were able to go, I guess, to Stonemaier Games or some kind of connection, take the game Euphoria for some reason, and utilize that IP in Good Cop, Bad Cop. This just seems like a drunken stupor or something that happened late one night. It sounded like a good idea, and you were so far into production, you went ahead and did it. The game is very solid. I do think the Euphoria universe works in this game. I think it works brilliantly. I just don't know that enough people are into Euphoria that they're like, yeah, this has got crossover appeal. I almost think that Good Cop, Bad Cop had more crossover appeal, mainstream staying, because it was just cops and robbers, right? Everybody knows that. Not everybody knows Euphoria, although I think it works. It gives you a little more of that Resistance vibe, though, if you will. This game is overproduced so much that I love it. I mean, this game is all about the components and those ray guns, and they're phenomenal. They are great. The way Cash and Guns comes alive with the guns that are provided, this game comes alive with those ray guns. They are phenomenal. I cannot believe they were made, especially for this game, and they are fantastic in every way. Otherwise, you have the tropes here with social deduction. Is it you? Is it me? Is it who? Is it Bob? There is a third faction, which keeps it from having player elimination, which is great in these games. So a lot of the tropes are in this game. If you're looking for a social deduction game with great components, this is the game to get. If you're a big fan of Euphoria, I think this will be appealing to you, but this is just another social deduction game. If you only wanted one social deduction game, you're going to have one in your collection, I could legitimately see you getting this one based on the components. Why not get one that's deluxeified out? This could be it for you. So for us, we don't play social deduction games. It wasn't something I was coming back to. I feel like some of the other ones are stronger, although the components were really difficult for me to get rid of, to be honest. I ended up purging this one. Here is Leaders of Euphoria. I do like this cover quite a bit. It shows you the underground versus the people that kind of run the civilization. It's a Good Cop, Bad Cop game in the Euphoria universe. I like that it tells you right here on the box, so kudos for that. So here are the player boards you're going to have. So these are the Wastelanders, if you turn one of those, and then you'll be either Euphorian or Subterranean on these sides. And there's enough. These are very thick, I should say. It also has a turn phase on it. These are very, 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 very nice. A little bit of an advertisement here for some other games if you want that. And these are the ray guns. These are the selling point of the game. These are humongous. They're great. They're fantastic. And you can really use these in almost any social deduction game that you want to point at somebody. And these are much better than the guns in Cash and Guns, which is another one that uses guns kind of like that. And then you're going to get some cards that you'll have in the game. These cards are very good quality. I have no problem with them whatsoever. These are the artifact cards that have actions. You can see they'll have reaction, action, kind of tells you what they do. And there's different things they have. These will be the faction cards, if you will, tell you what team that you're on. You can see there's a diverse level of people here in this future, and they're all kind of stuff. The cards feel really good in your hand. And then you're going to have one little token here that you'll have. And that's the components. They're very, very good. If you're looking for a social deduction game and you want the components to be blinged out, this is your game. You're going to get a rule book, and the rule book will kind of fold out like this. You're going to have a QR code if you want to watch a video on it. It's really nice. A little bit of a story, the objective, and a picture of all the components. Excellent job. You're going to have setup with pictures, etc., going where things need to go, which is great. It tells you about the factions and kind of how that's broken down and what to do with this. And then on your turn, this is everything you need to know on a turn and how you play it. Then it'll break down a couple of extra things you might need to know, and then winning the game. Very simple rule book. You probably need 15 minutes if you're a slow reader to get through this. If you play a social deduction game, maybe 5 minutes. It's fairly easy. If you play Good Cop, Bad Cop, you may not need it at all. Set the game is very easy and take your recruit cards. Now, some of these will only be used with numbers that are higher, etc. You'll take whatever numbers that you need. Some of them will be followers, as you can see at the bottom. There are multiples and multiples of the followers, and then you'll have leaders. The leaders have to be in all the games. It's very easy to take out. If you're only playing with 6, you don't play with the 7 ones. Then you'll have these ray guns that will be out in the center of the board. If you're playing less than 7, you'll get rid of one of those, but those will be out for all of the players to play with. Each player will gain 2 artifacts face down that they can look at. Everybody's going to get 2 recruit cards. That'll be just the followers, and they'll go face down. Then the leaders will be shuffled in, and everybody will get another card face down. Then you're going to look at your cards that you have been dealt, and you will see what you have here. I've got 2 subterranean cards and 1 Euphorian, so therefore I are all followers, so therefore I am subterranean. Let's say that let's say this card had been out, and this card would be here. If you get dealt a leader, you're automatically that faction. Doesn't matter what the other cards say. So these cards will be face down, and they will be what's called in hiding. During the game, you will be exposed, and then you get to choose one of your cards, and you'll flip it over. You probably never want to flip over the leader card because you don't want people to know who that is. Now, the other team's going to win, so if you're the Euphorian team, you're going to be trying to kill their leader, while the Subterraneans will be trying to kill the Euphorian leader during the game. So first thing I can do on a turn is I can discard all of my artifact cards and draw a new one from the deck. Or I can simply give an artifact card to another player. Now these artifact cards will do different things. This one says choose a player with no exposed leaders and shuffle them in. Choose a Wastelander, they are no longer a Wastelander. Now some of these will have reactions. If you have it, like use when a player aims a ray gun, it will simply tell you when to use it. But the first thing you do on a turn is discard all of them and draw one off the top of the deck, or you could simply just give a card to somebody else, and that will be the actions you can do. The second part is I can take one action. The possible actions are you can take a recruit from another player, look at it, gain a little bit of information, and put it right back. Now I have that. Now I can tell anybody anything I want. I can lie, tell the truth, whatever. You can also expose one of yours, which means I'll flip this person over, giving everybody the information, but I can utilize one of my artifact cards for the power that's presented on it. I could take a ray gun and put it in my slot right here and just point it at somebody if I want to. Another action is if I have a ray gun at somebody, I can shoot them. Now, when I shoot somebody, what they're going to do, if they are the leader, they will die, and I will have one if I shot the correct leader. Otherwise, they're going to draw an artifact card from the deck, expose all of their recruits, and then they will flip this over, and they will become a Wastelander. And a Wastelander will be trying to kill the other players as a third faction that enters the game. And the last possible action I have to do is I can hide an exposed recruit. Now, I have to remember who they are. Sometimes these cards will be swapped around based on artifacts, so you can lose track of who is what. If you're holding a ray gun, you do have to target at the end of the round, and then the next person would go. Once again, you are just trying to kill the other team's leader in order to win the game. Who should buy this game? Anybody looking for a solid social deduction game with fantastic components. I think right there is the niche market for this. If you happen to be a big fan of Euphoria, then that universe is attached to this, but I don't think that's going to be drawing a whole bunch of people in, especially in this day and age, as it feels like that game has been long forgotten, despite how amazing that it is. Everybody else, try it before you buy it. It's a vanilla kind of social deduction game. You know, it has all the tropes. It's there with fantastic, phenomenal, out-of-this-world components. That's how I would say this game. For us, it's really hard to get rid of this one based on the components, but I did purge it.